Thank you.
Oh, look at Sherry. She looks so warm. She's gonna get his dress on.
Where are you killing me? All
This is-
right, Fox, so we're gonna start our meeting for
I can't hear you very well.
April 6th.
Uh-oh, hold on. Sherry, how are we coming through for you?
Perfect. I can hear you very well and I can see you all.
Okay. Charlotte, I'm turning it up as loud as I can. Make sure you have your computer turned up as loud as you can, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, April 6th, 6 o'clock. I'd like to begin with the warrant items, and I'd like to make a motion that we approve payroll number 83 for $3,262.63. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. I'd like to move that we accept accounts payable number 84 for $30,371.57. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that one, most of that was for the snowplow contract of, I think last payment?
Last.
I think it's
I
the
believe
last
so.
payment. Yeah. I'd like to move,
First.
yeah, it is April.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to move that we accept accounts payroll number 85 for $2,066.71. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You guys are great. You have to take turns. I'd like to move that we accept accounts payable number 86 for $4,594.60. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to move that we accept the minutes for March 23rd, 2026 select board meeting. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second, but did you get my note about the last name?
Yeah,
Yes, I didn't change it on that, but I'll reprint it before I
okay.
save it for
Alright.
posterity. Thank you.
Okay, so I did second that. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, citizens issues, do you have a citizens issue?
Unfortunately, probably several, I think.
Okay.
Or comments anyway. You want me to go through one of the quick ones?
Whatever order you want to.
Okay. We're looking, this is the Friends of Westport Island History are looking at our insurance, our general liability insurance, which is what has covered our, the things that we own. That are in the house. We're asking now for them to look at how we handle the improvements we've made to the house. And trying to net out what's covered by the MMA insurance for the building and what's not.
Mhm.
So, for example, we say that, well, we bought the generator and the propane tank, so we would assume responsibility for that. We've got some other new equipment, the new scanner that we got with the grant was $4,000, not minor, we need to cover that. But we're not sure about other things that we've done, such as the rearrangement of, like for the bathroom and the kitchen setup. So what I'm gonna follow up with an email to Ashley is we wanna really have a check to make sure that we're all covered.
Mhm.
Between what the Friends is responsible for, what the town's responsible for. And how.
It's laid out pretty clearly in the lease.
Well, but now we've added to the things.
Yeah, but the lease we wrote generally for that exact purpose, like, you're gonna take care of things that you own.
Yeah.
The town's gonna take care of the structure of the building.
But I think the gray area is like the bathroom, right? It's, you guys are leasing the building, it's, you guys fixed it up.
That's
but-
right.
But what would happen theoretically if there was, let's say, a fire, right? I mean,
I would like to think that that's covered under the town's MMA insurance,
right,
but we wanna make sure. Because again, we're at that time now when we can cover things that aren't covered by the town. And particularly I'm concerned about where we've invested the money into the house. We wanna make sure the town, one way that doesn't lose that value.
yeah, it would seem like you'd need the
We
insurance.
can certainly cover
assessor.
that with you, Ashley,
Yeah.
we hashed that all out when we did the lease, so.
And she recently did something.
You're right.
Remember, she has that whole
Because
list
the last
of,
time that the insurance guy was there, this work wasn't done.
Right.
So maybe they need to look at it and have eyes on it from MMA. Yeah.
so
I think
you
whatever
have
you did
contacted April.
Whatever you did that's a permanent addition to the house, whether you put a 2x4 in a wall where you put a bathroom in. That becomes part of the building, which is covered by your town insurance,
Yep.
because you're the leasee.
That's right.
Things that, you know,
Right.
think of it, if you rented the place. And I owned it and I came in and put a new bathroom in for you, you don't insure the bathroom, I insure the bathroom, so. Pretty much it's.
I think you're just saying you wanna make sure that everybody's aware of the new things and.
That's right, and we really haven't put in, again, with the bathroom, if you put in nice fixtures, we as the tenants would take the fixtures out and put, you know, nothing or crap in there instead. So there is that thing where you actually put things in that you can remove as a tenant. There's not much of it. So,
Right.
I don't think it's really that big a deal, but this is the time I should just establish that.
Yeah.
Since we put the money in.
Yeah.
So that's, like one question from I see this CAI contract on your list of things. The planning board's been talking about the layers that are in the
map.
the tax maps.
Mhm.
And concerns where, and unfortunately, I'm not the one who's directly working on this, it's actually the one of the other, Nick Pagan, who's been getting most into this. But that one of the layers which shows the natural resources isn't consistent with the state map. At least Nick doesn't think it is. So if you look on the contract now, it'd be good for maybe we'll get some input in terms of concerns that might be there for what CAI has done. If that's relevant, again, I don't know what the terms are that you're looking at. But that was one of the things that we were expecting CAI to do, and really it's just do it, the update. But we saw a problem with at least one of the layers.
Is there a
And you-
chance that Nick could document what exactly, cause
yeah.
if we go either direction, we're gonna get, well, show me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're meeting Wednesday.
Okay.
And April has heard Nick talk about this too.
CAI is not my favorite company right now.
Yep.
We have a shoreline zone map that is the legal one we rely on. The one on there, that they're showing is not the same. I don't know why. I don't know how that happened. And they have the zones, coded the wrong way, actually. They had them labeled wrong. And so I said, oh, no, they didn't have them labeled wrong. They had the shading so hard to see, no one could see it.
Yeah.
So I talked to Ashley about it. I said, hey, could you get them to make it more clear? Well, they did. And when they did it, they got confused and switched the labels around. So now it's labeled incorrectly.
It's just another
And
one of
then-
those situations where this is like the only game in
Yeah.
town.
And then
I'm
Ashley was
stuck
like,
with them.
hey, could you fix that? And they're like, well, that will
You
cost
could-
you some
You
money.
can use a different contract if you do
So-
the tax maps, but
Very annoying.
the
yeah.
switching cost would be pretty high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's frustrating.
yeah, they aren't great service and everything.
Well, that's why
costs a
Ashley,
ridiculous amount of
they
money.
created they had this disclaimer, Ashley asked them. remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
In the,
Yeah.
we open the map, because it's, don't
don't trust
go
it.
by this,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cause they're gonna screw it up.
So I think we can probably do this Wednesday and just give you some input on the contract, what the concern is. And we probably should have done that before. But we've been in full-fledged,
Well,
Review.
it's not like, yeah, but it's all right, it's not like we were gonna do anything.
Yeah, this
anyway.
is just
We-
their
we-
standard annual contract
Right.
they
Yep.
issue every year.
okay,
Okay.
and that,
And,
the same question I had 2 weeks ago was, I'd like to have some visibility to where we stand with budget status. Now that we've had, actually 3/4 of the year, through, how do we stand in terms of expenditures,
how many
what
did
is
we get
possible
through the other day?
surplus?
All right, the answer to that is one, we're in the process of looking at, what we need for this year. We are not going to publish like we did when you were, we're not gonna do that every week, cause it changes every week.
Well, sure,
You have been in contact with Ashley, she gave you pages of what we are, you can go to her every week and ask for that. We are not gonna publicly until we're ready to move forward on that. We are looking at things, we're actually meeting with the fire department, to find out what his proposed budget is, so we are starting to look at budget items. But we are not willing to, make public statements about where we are with things. you know, and you talked to Ashley just the other day, I think she must have said it 5 times, I don't know yet. We don't know
Yeah,
what,
she said-
we were just,
She's waiting for final numbers.
Yeah,
So a
yeah.
lot of unknowns right now. We're
Yeah.
not talking about it. We haven't even really.
and
delve
things,
into anything,
with things that are
yeah.
going up, like the fuel and whatnot, and then there were changes because you know, we had the heat pumps, and she had just made a contract last year and set, this is how much fuel we're gonna get, that we think we're gonna need based on prior years, and then we get the heat pumps. And now it's like, I know what we ordered last year, but I don't know what we're gonna have to order this year, because we don't know yet where we are with things. And so, she's been unwilling to give numbers, and we're absolutely fine with that.
We are gonna do the visibility, the warrant preview and feedback sessions.
Yes, we
Those
are gonna have,
scheduled already, I think, what did we say, 5/14 and 5/22.
yeah,
So there'll be 2 opportunities before the warrant is finalized, where the warrant itself is made public with all the best numbers. Still could change a little. You guys
At
actually
least
signed the
closer
thing,
than
but it's
what we-
close enough that
Yeah.
it's gonna be pretty accurate. And those will be at the town hall and on the Zoom and recorded.
And that's gonna include the ordinances, or are we doing,
Yes,
right?
Any of
if,
it with
if there are
hearings,
ordinances,
yeah.
then yes, and I'm sure there'll be at least one. I know Susan wants to get her glyphosate thing for the town.
yeah, we have to figure out where
And
that
maybe,
is.
maybe more, we'll see where the planning board ends
I
up.
think the planning board was gonna tackle it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so, you know,
Well, no, actually, you're answering my question, because I'm really, I know that you have 3/4 worth of the year. But I understand that there's a lot to be done, but so a 1-year forecast you'll be able to say for the budget for next year. But actually, mine was more of a simpler question. You can do a report out of Trio that shows you what the status is of the budgets, and you can actually kind of see, are we doing good or are we not doing so good? A lot changes as you're looking for next year, but it's kind of a quick snapshot of what's our status.
yeah, and, you know, we get updates from Ashley, and we're fine, and we're happy with where we are right now. And as you saw the budget, you know, there were things that were really close to being.
Well, I actually haven't seen anything on the budget since maybe in the spring, I mean, the fall.
Oh, okay, because I thought she said that you had talked to her, and she had shown you what we had pages of all the.
Not for some time.
Well, you can come in and look at that, but, just know that we are constantly looking at that, but we just are not ready to say anything publicly.
No, I can understand.
Yeah,
And again, good, you're getting all the input, that's kind of the key thing. That's also part of what I was hoping to hear is how are you going to get that info? Cause don't know if you have a schedule for people coming in and talking at an open select board meeting.
Jeff,
Wait.
did you get the expense report she sent to you?
What expense report?
Yeah, the last time you were here, you asked for where we were with the numbers up until that date, and Ashley said she sent it.
I don't think so, if she did, then I missed it
Yeah.
in my,
yeah, because she said
That's, I
that
think what Donna was talking
Right.
about.
Yeah.
okay.
That
yeah.
Ashley had said that she sent it to you.
Well, she did, then that's good, I'll go
Yeah.
look for it.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
yes.
after our last meeting, because,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, you had asked for that, and it's like, well, we can share that with you. Without any problem, but that doesn't really. At this point in time, we are closely looking at things, we are talking about, you know, the warrant, articles already, but just,
You got a lot of information to pull in, I understand, and that's kind of understanding the process.
Yep.
And when you actually would expect to have, your rough plan on the budget. And it sounded like,
well, we have to have it.
14th.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we put it out early
So
before the
people can
session,
look at it.
like a week
yeah,
before.
right, we've already set a date, 2 dates, so that we can have a.
Like we did last
Meeting,
year.
yep, and just talk about this is where we are, this is where we think we are, and it'll be a draft, warrant, really, with numbers.
So in like a month.
Yep, yeah, so, yeah,
thank you.
any others? I have one. All right, and I like for, Jim to talk about this, we did get, notice from, a resident, and we've noticed it ourselves, but we did notice, that there are signs that are being destroyed again. road signs. And, Jim, do you wanna talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, DOT, a couple weeks ago, and put up pretty much all new signs. Even some of the old ones that was still sort of legible, they replaced a lot of them. And there's already been damage done to them. We need to find a way to prevent this and stop this from happening. Game cameras be set up on some of them. And I think that's the avenue we should take, because we need to find the culprits. I've had. Well, we need to find who's doing this damage.
Yeah, and, I think the select board would agree that if, anybody sees anything, that they should notify the sheriff. We're not the enforcement. We're aware of it. And we want the town to know that if they see anything, that they need to notify the sheriff.
License plate number,
Yep.
description of the vehicle,
Yep,
even if you just. License plate number and the description of the vehicle.
yeah. Cause it's costly. I mean, and it took them almost a year to get new signs up and they're already down again. Yeah.
And fortunately. A lot of people rely on these signs. For landmarks. If they haven't been down here, the curb signs, the blind drive ahead
There's a purpose
signs.
for those. Yeah, safety.
These are there for a reason
Mhm.
and not to be targets.
Anything to add to that?
Yeah. Did you hear from, I guess, Joe Dickaton and his, son, Joe Junior, were out when at least one smashing of signs was happening.
No kidding.
And tried to follow up on it. It sounded like a black pickup. Was what Joe saw.
This is what I've consistently heard, the burnouts on the bridge, the burnouts on Thomas's Hill. Black pickup truck. I've seen a black pickup truck myself. Tearing into Post Office Road, tearing up the road. So. Yes,
So we need, if possible, one, they can contact the sheriff, but he's gonna ask for,
I think they did try. I was trying to look at it.
I think it's,
Stacy put it on they put it on a text with the other fire department.
Mhm.
And so, but I can't find it. But I think they did call the sheriff, but maybe not in time for someone to get to
Right.
get to the bridge.
right,
there's one way on this island, there's one way off this island. Eventually, they're gonna get caught, there's no question in my mind. When they do. How much restitution are they gonna be held accountable for, because this is the second round of signs. At DOT labor rates and cost of the signs,
What's one of those signs cost?
about $75.
Alright,
that
so,
doesn't include the labor, right?
That doesn't include the labor, it doesn't include $10.
but collectively, they're over $1,000 in damage.
Oh,
So
on
that
the
could,
first round,
that's considered a felony level, so it's serious.
this is serious, because it's public safety too,
Mhm.
so. And it's gonna stop.
Lisa,
I
you-
was just gonna say, I like the idea of the random game cameras.
I do too, because
Yeah.
now
Just putting
all
them-
the
nobody's
traps
gonna know where
except
they
fresh
are.
meat, so let's catch these people.
Yeah.
Are there any that haven't been trashed yet?
There's a few.
There are, okay.
don't mention where they
Yeah.
are.
So far, but it's only been a couple of weeks
It's
too.
early,
Yep.
yeah.
This was a problem last year as well, and finally get the signs up, and they're already down. I noticed just as I was coming that there was a 45 mile per hour on the ground.
Yeah,
It was leaning on, it was already down.
Your kid's not old enough yet, so.
He's not yet.
well,
I don't know as if all these people are juveniles.
Unfortunately.
18, once you're 18, you're not a juvenile.
Maybe at heart.
Right.
Some
Yeah.
people never grow up.
This is true. So let's move on and let's go to roads. Anything to add? Anything to add to roads? That is one loud,
Yeah,
You gotta hear it over the you know?
It's true. Yeah.
Roads, well, the roads are still posted. I have grader man all lined up when the roads are in the condition grade, once the post is come down. I took a ride in the post office road Saturday, and it was all wet. It tells me there's still some frost in the ground,
Mm,
so we're just waiting, but things are improving.
it's kind of good that it hasn't warmed up too quickly.
Well, we
Yeah.
had a lot of frost, it was very deep this
I
year,
know,
and
so, yeah,
it's been coming out slowly, so we haven't had the catastrophic.
right, right.
We've had some mucky spots, and there is still some mucky spots,
Especially if there's sun on it.
nobody's wall went up to their axle.
Right.
Frames, you know.
Right, of course, when you fix the road, we can't test it out, 'cause
Well, one thing I did notice, and you know, it's all trial and error, is I fixed the spot that went to pieces last year, but I should have gone further, a little bit further in both directions. Well, now that we know that,
Yeah,
we will, we'll work on that.
yeah.
That corner
Process.
takes a beating,
Mm-hmm.
sunlight. East-west roads like Post Office Road, hard to deal with because they don't get the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but we're improving. I see definite improvement.
Just on the roads, I noticed in the last month or two, a lot of activity. On the corner of Baker Road. Mr. Greenleaf is tending his yard. And,
He moves things down daily, and we've had conversations about this, and I've talked to Dale about it. And right now, as long as he is not impeding, the plow or anything else, you can get through there. I will talk to him again. I talked to him, he moves things. And then it's like, I'm bored, I need to do something, so it goes back out and does something again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you seen the culverts? Those aren't our culverts, I just wanna make sure.
Yeah, no.
Okay, yeah.
it's the kindness of the stewards. On the other side, because now the road, the traveled way is right next to their trees.
Right.
So
I'll have
that's
to-
not
I'll
gonna
have
be.
to take
comfortable.
pictures. It's shifted, yeah.
Yeah, because he's covered over half the road.
The
Yep.
one, when Tyson went in there, when we was looking for blowdowns and stuff after one of them storms, when the tree come down on East Shore Road. When Tyson come out, he got stopped and he said, but Tyson tell me that he found a pin. Well, pins can move all around. GPS coordinates don't change.
Yeah.
And we have GPS coordinates on all them pins. We can get a surveyor down here to say it's right there. Or it belongs right there. And it'll disappear again and then things, it's just a constant motion.
The
So,
telephone pole's still there, and it's 20.5 feet from the telephone pole is the.
Is that before or after George and Ross went down there and moved it?
I thought it was,
He moved the
Davis
telephone
moved it.
pole?
Yeah, Davis moved it one night.
Oh, he did?
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you wrote on
He's
the
got,
telephone
he
pole.
had that ability to just go.
Oh, my God.
Telephone pole moves.
Ross, picked it up out of the ground. Moved it.
So
George dug the hole.
Yeah.
we've tried to have, I have had face-to-face conversations with him. Kim has come with me a couple of times. He does change things and move things back when we ask him to. We just have chosen to not contact the sheriff every time he does something because it's very costly. And he's gonna,
Pointless.
yeah, it's pointless. So
Just cost of-
there are enough other major issues we have to deal with that we've chosen to not deal with that. And, you know, I checked during the winter, I've talked to Dale to make sure he could plow. You know, I can't say anything about, I know what's happening with the neighbors and whatnot.
Well, we
We
have,
have no control over that.
the fire department hasn't had to go by, for some time, and that was one of the reasons why.
Yep.
before it was a
And
safety
the
issue.
sign was down as well.
Haven't tried driving the truck, down, but that'd be something, one of these times would be to take,
Yeah, if you're doing that
stick the
sometimes.
engine down and see if we actually can turn.
That's
Yeah,
a good.
cause if
good
not,
idea.
then
That
I
would be
would,
something, yeah.
I'd have grounds to say to him, you know, that fire department tried to go down there, we couldn't. The sign has been up, I think it moved a couple times, but it went from one side of the street to the other, but the sign was,
Nothing ever stays in the same place.
it moves, it has feet.
That's because
you know?
tourists rotate.
Exactly, it's better than being in the middle of the road. So, yeah, we're aware, I try to go down there periodically and I do make it a point to look at that. It's amazing what, you know, one day it's this way and another day it's something else and, and I don't think anything that we can do is gonna ever stop it, even if we were to call the sheriff constantly. And we just feel like we have other bigger issues to deal with, so. But I do go and talk to him periodically, he and I get along, fine. And he will move things, he actually has offered to move things with, when Kim and I have gone there, and he has done it. So, but it's like it gets moved, and then it slowly, and I don't know what the thinking is that makes him decide to move things again, but we are trying to stay on,
It hasn't bothered Buddy, has it lately?
no, not that, I have not
Yeah,
heard.
so it doesn't bother, his other butters.
Right,
So.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
So it does, but I think.
They've learned to live with it.
well, the Stewart's the one that we're most impressed, but,
Well, anybody that.
Gordon and
lives in
Jan Jordan says he,
there's
Doesn't
enough
care.
space, and, yeah,
Yeah.
you choose your battles,
Yeah.
basically, yeah. Anything to add to that? All right, let's go to committee reports, and actually, I want to just, mention a couple of the committees. The Conservation Commission is, I want everybody to put it on their calendar, Charlotte. On April 18th, we are inviting anybody to come join us at Clough Point or Clough Point, however you want to say it, from 10 to 12 to just sort of help clean up. There are a lot of people who use that, like to walk their dogs and all, but aren't on the committee, and we're encouraging anybody that wants to come to join us for that event. And
Your
Um,
rain date,
10 to 12?
you can do it.
10 to
rain or
12.
shine, rain or shine.
I thought there was a rain date.
may have been like after the pancake breakfast. And then on May 2nd and 3rd, right now, we're still having a discussion about whether we do it 2 days or not, but look forward to definitely May 2nd, for the island cleanup. And that, we were talking about doing it 2 days. We're still having a discussion whether we do it 2 days or one, but we at least set at least one of the dates is the 2nd, potentially 2nd and the 3rd. Yes,
I noticed in my travels when I cut the tree out of East Shore Road, that somebody deposited a couple tires down off East Shore Road. And I could get down there, but I don't know if I can get back up. If there was a young person that could go down there and tie a rope on these two tires so we could pull them up, that would be great. And next time somebody wants to dump some tires illegally, set them on the side of the road. So the road commissioner ain't gonna get out there and kill himself and try and get these tires
Yeah.
back up.
and where is this again?
Lower part of East Shore Road, right where the road goes around the very head of the cove there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't drive by, you'd never notice them.
Yeah.
But I was there cutting this tree out of the road and it's like, oh, it's two tires down there, great.
the Williams property or the back on there?
South of Masons.
Okay,
If-
okay, yeah,
You come up over the hill from the bridge heading south,
yeah, that's,
and then you got that flat, and then you go right around, right across from Beaver Pond.
yeah.
Is it on the left or the right hand
Then
side?
it's down,
On the left. Okay. Yep, yeah, we always have like a little contest to see how big of an item is. Are we gonna have a stove this time or whatever else? We've gotten better for a while, but anyway. The other thing, from another committee is a WCA committee, and, this month on the 25th, we will have our, pancake breakfast from 8 to 10, our yearly pancake breakfast. Free pancakes, blueberry pancakes. and it'll be at the town hall, so Presume Heights. Hopefully it'll come to that as well. Dear, anything update
No,
on that? Any update?
I have an update on that one. Sean Hatch, the electrician, is gonna lay out a temporary cable system for you guys to have 15,000 riddles for your pancakes
All
and
right.
16 crock pots for sausage and 42 coffee makers. So
Perfect.
you can have all the fun you want.
That'll do for a couple of years.
So he's gonna lay it out long against the wall with multiple boxes on it. We'll use it for the pancake breakfast and we'll peel it back up.
Oh, wonderful.
With the intention of a permanent fix when we fix the wall. With that, so
We're meeting tomorrow night, so I'll make sure that I share that. They'll be thrilled to hear that.
They should be happy about that.
Yeah. Anything on any of your?
I've made a call into, Mr. Jarrett to be able to have the power vent replaced before the 25th, so that you'll have consistent heat.
Right.
I don't have an answer from him, so if not, we'll still have the furnace, but somebody might have to run down and hit the reset button once in a while. Or maybe it'll just be a nice day. You know. Chris Malley has been redoing all of the windows. He's on the last three that are towards the front of the building on the south side. And all the hopes are that we'll have those back in for the 25th as well. So we're gonna have that set as a goal of, we'll have the water turned on and you'll have power and we'll have windows in and you can enjoy
Have a party.
the party.
Great, great.
I hope a lot of hungry people come.
Yeah, we had
Usually
almost
do.
100 last year. I think it was right at 98, so we're hoping to get a little bit more. Select board business.
There I go.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to talk to your nephew about the fence system that we wanna put in?
I have, and he is promised, his job is crazy.
Yeah.
His job is just a lot. But he has promised me to email this young lady right here. And he's, I said, email it, you know, and don't have some communication with her because it ain't looking good with no communication. And he's receptive to whatever we decide we wanna do.
Okay,
Including encompassing them stones that are outside the fence.
Yeah.
Just to fill people who are listening, if people are listening to this, this is a cemetery
Right,
on the island. That
The
is-
cemetery committee.
is, yeah.
So-
That needs a new fence.
he needs, and I told him random rock wall by, and whatever you decide on the other sides. Done what I can do, expect an
Yeah, okay.
email.
All right,
so he's
And if you
amenable
know-
to it, cause really we're just looking for his permission. We're gonna have to cross his land to get to it, to do the work.
Right.
And then there will be people that wanna visit the cemetery that will need to cross his land, so as long as he's cool with all that, we don't want him to. No, there's no cost to him.
No, right, no, I
Okay.
know, I just want him to have correspondence with Powers B,
Yep,
which is, I used her as the point of contact.
he's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Don't we do that with all like all cemeteries? There must be something where landowners have to.
I think they do. I think
They
that-
have to let people visit, but they
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to let us go, like.
Right,
destroy their grass.
right.
Well, I think yeah, you have to get permission, and if they're okay with you doing it, fine, but if they wanna do it, they have the
Yeah,
right to.
right, somebody has to do it,
Right.
so if they don't wanna let the town do it, they better do it.
The problem with the rock wall is that's gonna require some excavation.
Yeah.
Number one, and number two, it probably should be mortared rock wall, this is gonna come higher than the road. Cause you're already, you know, that far below the road. To start, so,
And do we have to do anything with DOT permission? Because we're gonna be within their 33 feet.
oh, that's a good question, I mean, the cemetery was there long before.
The road.
Right,
I'll look at,
right.
I'll do that one.
It's been, the road has been expanded to encroach
Yeah.
on the cemetery.
Without it asking them.
Right, right, they're pretty quiet, I haven't heard a peep out of them.
Yep.
I've heard people are dying to get in there.
That's what I heard too.
Getting deep. All right, let's keep going here. Select board business. We have a contract with CAI, which Jeff, you had alluded to, this is just our yearly contract, and it is, I saw where it was and then now I've lost it, it was $1,100 for the regular maintenance service, and then any additional sketches or that kind of thing, it's $20 per building that's added. And so, I'd like to move that we accept this proposal and, so that Ashley can pay it. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Where's this little line go by?
Must be your name.
Oh, I don't have to do anything about it. I hate unnecessary. Lines. All right, next on our list is just an FYI. And it's related to a peer application. It's public comment period for North End pier with Ted Christie's property. So we're just announcing that there is a comment period. So if anybody has any feedback, anything that they want to say, is this posted somewhere so that people?
Yeah, it's
can
on the
do it?
bulletin board, it's on the website, it's on
Okay.
Facebook. It's their application with the Maine Department of Agriculture, Forestry,
Conservation and Forestry.
Conservation and Forestry.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird. They have to get a DEP permit and they also have to get a lease or an easement from the DHCF for the submerged lands. And so they do a public comment period.
We
With the state
basically have
agency.
a-
So if anyone has a comment,
Yep,
you can contact the DACF, there's an email on the notice.
and probably if anybody would have comments would be abutters, anybody who lives up in that area, but I just wanted to announce that.
And that's not our permit application.
Right.
They'll come to us after they secure all the
Yeah,
state
we're just
approvals.
letting people know that it is there. All right, do you want to talk about the absentee ballot issue?
Yeah. So every election, the state gives us the option to make our local ballot available in various ways to folks with disabilities. And one of those ways is by an online accessible absentee ballot that allows people with any kind of sight impairment or other kinds of impairments that would make it impossible for them to independently vote an absentee ballot that was sent to them to be able to do it online. That's all through the Secretary of State. I don't touch the process. They have some kind of secure process for people to do that. It costs us $100 to have our local ballot put online in that manner. We've had at least one person use it in the past, and so it seems like a reasonable expense, even if it's just a single person and it may be more people. We never know who's gonna need that as we all get older and things get worse.
We did ask about the one individual and
Yeah,
hopefully will not be here after this month. The hope was that she would be able to move into her new place, but that's not a given. It's not guaranteed.
well, and it's.
So
We don't know what
it makes
election
sense
they'll be
to,
voting in,
yeah.
so. Yeah, and you know, there's more expensive things we can do, but that one seems like a good reasonable middle ground to give people access without breaking the bank. So
Should
I
we-
recommend it.
so do you need are you looking for the board's permission?
Yeah, just got $100.
All right. Any conversation, comment?
I'm good with it. It's fine.
Okay, so I'd like to move that we make an accessible absentee ballot for the municipal ballot for our town ballot. It's for the town.
For the town
Just for
local
the
ballot.
town, yep. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I remember you had talked about, like, for the RSU, they're not making it electronic.
No, they're not gonna spring for the expense to do that, so unfortunately. for any of our residents, there won't be an accessible online ballot for the RSU ballot. But
Every town would have to do its own if they wanted to make it electronically accessible.
yeah, it's kind of their responsibility, so we'll make ours available, and we encourage the RSU to do that.
Yeah,
And
and
of course,
we have,
on their budget, we pay for it, so, I don't know.
we have talked about it, and we've thought that if anybody is going to vote, hopefully you would have thought this through before you ever go to the ballot, you know, and you're gonna vote, so people will have, you know, opportunities to learn what they need before election day.
There's a lot of ways, once you get to the polls, someone can help you, a poll worker can help you. The state primary ballots will be on the express vote machine, which you can vote, with auditory aids and braille. So there's a lot of different tools and ways to help folks, and this is just another way that's
Making it easier.
affordable and easy to
Yeah.
let people absentee vote independent.
All right, the next thing that's on our agenda is, I had been looking at the Protect Wiscasset. And they have actually been able to get some legislators to look at proposing an LD 307 law potentially that would at least temporarily cease allowing data centers to be built.
Blocking permits.
Yeah.
I'm reading an article, Maine is about to become the first state to ban major new data centers. The bill blocking permits for facilities over 20 megawatts until November 2027. And it's a chance, I'm assuming they have a data center coordination council. And the purpose of this is to buy them time so they can look at how these facilities strain Maine's aging electric grid. And also, you know, I don't know where we are, but maybe the top 5 states in the country for electricity costs. Maine's like
We are,
really up
I
there.
think we might be at the top.
Yeah, so they want to make sure, you know, how is that gonna impact?
And this sort of goes hand in hand with what Wiscasset had said they were going to do, which
It
was
was-
to sort of hold off,
Yes,
but this is a
So
state.
this sort of started with Wiscasset and Lewiston. Lewiston was the other town that was looking at one as well.
Right, and they said no in Lewiston, and then in Limestone, they wound up getting it, even though they didn't ask for it. They pretty much didn't know about it from, at least from what I've heard. So, what I'd like to propose is that we, as a select board, write a letter supporting this bill. In hopes that, you know, they realize that, you know, municipalities have an interest in making sure that this is really thought out clearly.
Who's the sponsor of the bill?
Millen Sachs. I can't open it because it's I think.
Have they
Yeah,
had a
for-
hearing yet? Cause maybe people could submit testimony.
Well, and that's what they were looking for, is letters and testimony and whatnot. That's what
okay.
I'm talking
Ooh,
about.
Yeah, we'll have a link and everything. I can put that in the newsletter.
Yeah, you would have gotten, what I sent you this morning, that I sent Richard.
I haven't seen it yet.
I think it went to you. I thought he sent it to both of us.
Oh, okay. I see something now. I haven't dug into it yet.
Are you ignoring me?
I'm ignoring everybody who emails my work email over the weekend.
Good for you, good for you.
Work-life balance.
Yeah, I think it's in there, some information on it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's LD 307. So I'd like to propose that we as a select board write a letter in support of this bill. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. So I'm willing to draft something and have you guys look at it. Unless somebody wants to take the lead on it. I didn't hear anybody.
Wow. Four volunteers there.
I second that.
And yeah, and hopefully, Jeff, go home and write a letter and support that bill. You're all for the data center.
I got so much stuff stacked up that I'm not taking anything on.
Not even a little nasty letter.
I got another one I have to do tonight.
Yeah, yeah. All right, any announcements or any other information? Nope. All right, I'd like to move that we adjourn for the night. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You wanna hit no report?
Also off the wall question. Yes, you're looking at that.